Hi, good evening. Today, I want to talk about today I want to talk about climate change in a real human way, not as a science textbook topic, but as something we're noticing more and more around us. Now, every year feels just a little hotter. Summers will drag on longer. Winters feel strange and erratic, and storms have been hitting harder, a lot harder. We hear about wildfires like earlier this year. We hear about floods, hurricanes, and it's starting to feel normal, even though it shouldn't be. I'm not here to lecture or throw fear at anyone. I just want to walk through what's actually happening, why it's happening, and what real solutions exist. Because this issue affects everyone, our communities, our air, our future families, and it only becomes manageable if we understand it. Now, the problem is the Earth is warming fast. NASA says the planet has warmed about 1.2 Celsius, which is, around 2, I think it's 2.2 Fahrenheit since the late 1800s. Now, that can sound small, but scientists can compare it to a fever. Even a degree or two makes a big difference in how the body functions. The last 10 years have been the hottest the world has ever recorded. Now, some real consequences we're already seeing are that heat waves are stronger, they're more common. Hospitals are filling up with heat-related illnesses. Wildfires are breaking records in places like California, Canada, and Hawaii. I still drive down Malibu, and some of the streets are still blocked off from those fires earlier this year. There's also flooding from storms that used to be once in a century, you know, now they're happening every few years. Sea levels are rising, coastal neighborhoods are slowly losing land. Air quality is declining, especially during wildfire season. I know if you're from SoCal, where I'm from, like near Montebello area, when those fires were going on, the air quality was terrible, terrible. Some kids are growing up with smoke days, which are similar to snow days. Now, human impact is that food prices are rising when droughts are hitting those farms. People with asthma are struggling more on, polluted days. Low income communities are getting hit first and hardest. There's less shade, old buildings, fewer resources to recover. Climate change is not just environmental. It's economic, social, it's a health issue, and it's a fairness issue. If we continue to ignore this, scientists are warning that warming could reach 2 Celsius or more by mid-century. That level brings irreversible damage, permanent ecosystem loss, massive migration, stronger disasters. This problem is both urgent and personal. Now, the main cause are going to be greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide and methane, they trap heat in the atmosphere. I guess you can think of it as adding like more and more blankets around the planet just progressively over and over. Now, where these greenhouse gases come from are from burning fossil fuels. That's like cars driving, trucks, planes, power plants, factories. Cutting down forests, deforestation. There are now fewer trees to absorb all that carbon in the air. Agricultural releases methanes, like cows, landfills, and rice fields. uh, some scientific clarity, I guess. The IPCC is the top global authority on climate science. They say that over 95% of today's warming is caused by human activity. 95%. It's not volcanoes, it's not the sun, it's not natural cycles, it's us, it's human beings. Now, why this matters emotionally? If humans caused it, then humans can fix it. Climate change is not a random disaster we're helpless to stop. It's the result of choices. New choices can create new outcomes. Now, a solution for this, uh, I guess, an organization doing real work, there's something called the EDF is stands for Environmental Defense Fund. EDF is one of the most science-driven environmental groups that are working today. And what makes them unique is they don't just protest, they partner with government, scientists, and they even partner with major companies to make practical changes. Their main focus is cutting methane. Methane will trap 80 times more heat than carbon dioxide in the short term. EDF calls methane reduction the fastest lever we can pull to slow down warming. They're building satellite systems like things called methane SAT. This literally tracks methane leaks worldwide and it pressures industries to fix these leaks. Other work that they do is pushing for clean energy policies, creating sustainable farming projects that reduce emissions but still support farmers, and also restoring forests and wetlands that naturally will pull carbon from the air. They also help communities adapt to heat and rising sea levels. Now, the reason why EDF gives hope is that the results focus. They show that climate solutions don't have to be political arguments, they can be measurable, scientific actions. Now, what I personally plan to do, I guess I would make everyday lifestyle changes. I would reduce single use plastics, water bottles. I already got a reusable water container thing like a hydro flask. Cut down unnecessary car use. So, like, I walk to the store or I use my skateboard instead of just driving everywhere. Also, being more conscious about energy use, like my lights, the AC, the heater, electronics, and also support companies that are trying to lower emissions. Another thing I'm doing is staying informed, follow climate updates from credible science-based organizations, and also educate myself to not fall for misinformation. I could also use my voice and talk about climate change with friends and family in a factual way and support businesses that reduce waste and emissions. Now, climate change is real, but it is not hopeless. We've spent decades learning what causes it and what fixes it. We finally have the tools, the technology, and the science to make real progress. Organizations like EDF are proof that solutions already exist and are working right now. The only missing piece and the most important one is participation, not from a few people, but from many. From people who care about cleaner air, safer communities, and a future that feels stable. That starts with small shifts, small actions, small habits that are repeated every day. If we take this seriously, we can shape a world that's healthier, a world that's safer, and more fair for everyone who comes after us. Thank you.